with energy.
This is interesting. This actually happened before.
What?
This is 1942. Fury happens in 1943.
Really? Oh, shit.
And I went back and checked. Yeah. So when they were doing it on Fury, they already knew what had happened.
But that doesn't make any sense because they don't have anything. Oh, my God. Because the whole point of this book is that Fury is the original Captain America.
What? Is it?
That's what they say at the end of the book. God damn it.
They say he's the original?
Talk about how he's before Captain America.
I was like, maybe that's when he was trying to enlist.
Oh,
but maybe there was a time jump?
Wait, yeah, like...
Oh, yeah.
But
maybe
it doesn't show it.
Yeah, it's still... as far as we know, it's still 1942, right?
Yeah. Because later in the book... Here, let me see that. Later in the book...
I was trying to see, like, oh, there's all these things going on. Like, maybe it was like a year and a half.
Yeah, he says, like, I mean, the results are promising. We're doing all this stuff.
Interesting. Nor do they seem to indicate that, like, yeah, it didn't work so well before, but we think we...
Yeah. No, because when people talk to Fury...
Now, it says the blood samples were healthy and matched that of Subject 22, which had our largest success. I wonder if that was Rogers?
Wait, is that was on Fury?
That's Fury.
Okay, I guess that's what it is. That sucks. Oh, well.
So for experimentation. Yeah, interesting.
Because when they talk, they track down Fury later and they ask him, like, why he... But I guess it's just, okay, fine.
I guess it's like, well, it worked with Steve. It didn't work with anybody else. So
right,
they kept
now
trying
it suddenly worked with Fury.
They need to make
Fury
it,
left.
and then he left.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, well. That's a damn shame. I hate that.
And they imply that it was a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Maybe because it worked on another person who wasn't Steve.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we finally generalized it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's August 19th.
Or we figured out what is the thing that makes it work, because it now worked in two people.
No, it's Steve. All right.
So is the idea that, like, when he, like, blew up and shredded the lab and stuff, that was like the end?
Right.
That was like, they didn't make any more. It was
Well,
like, well, you
Erskine-
destroyed the program. You were the last one.
Erskine was still alive.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. They could have rebuilt it.
Wait a minute.
Wait, Erskine didn't die in the...
Erskine died in the Captain America fight. Was that still Erskine in the Fury fight?
Or was it
Captain America
just someone
fight.
who looks like them?
Right?
What Captain America fight?
When Captain America was made Captain America, is this Erskine?
Yeah, but he didn't die.
Yes, he did.
There was no explosion.
No, there was a Nazi who killed everybody.
Oh, the Nazi killed everybody?
I thought Captain America saved them.
No.
Well,
Captain America
he
stopped
fought
the Nazi.
but he didn't. But there was still an attack.
Yeah. There he is.
Oh my God!
Is that Erskine?
That's
That's
Erskine.
him!
Are you
see
fucking
him?
kidding me? It was a misprint.
They screwed up the
I
timing.
screwed up the date. I was right the first time.
Fuck!
Oh, that sucks.
Unless
He doesn't die, and he hides his identity. Like, he made Captain America think that he was killed, but actually they were experimenting on Nick Fury's and stuff. This is why people have a problem with Bendis. Right?
yeah.
I think it's because of the repetitive dialogue, but actually it's because he does these flashbacks, and he doesn't pay attention to his own effing continuity.
Yeah, he probably changed it like 8 times, and then just didn't remember how to.
Yeah.
But
Like,
also,
well, I went back
it
and I went
never
to.
got fixed.
No.
No.
But,
no.
like, that's why you have an editor.
Yeah. That's why you have
Hey, Ralph Macchio,
Ralph
get out of the
Macchio.
dojo and help Bendis out with these dates.
Oh, not that.
I
Ralph
can't.
Macchio.
My leg got swept.
There.
All right, I can edit again.
It's the one and only time we're going to make fun of Ralph Macchio for being called Ralph Macchio. Because I say that a lot. Whenever I'm like, Ralph Macchio is the editor of this book. No, not that Ralph Macchio. God damn it!
Okay, so Nick Fury was the first Super
Nick
Soldier.
Fury was the first super soldier.
Yeah, it was 1942, and then
No, let's say it's 1941.
Sure.
Wait.
No, because they don't
Fury
say they need one until
Fury is caught in
1942.
1943.
but that's just it. When
Yeah.
wasn't Captain America like brought in like earlier in the war? Wasn't it like 42, 43?
So
Sure.
FDR says he wants a super soldier in August 1942.
Okay. So then, in August, and 1 year later, they catch Fury.
Yeah. And then
Right.
they should have put 1943 as the date on Steve Rogers so that it could be like right after.
Yes, because this is August 1943. This is New York 1942.
Yeah.
No month, but it is snowing. So let's say it's late 1942. What it really should be late 1943.
But then, what was the reference to Subject 22 in
the Captain
Nick
America
Fury's
story?
origin?
Oh yeah.
If there was no Captain America before him, who was
again,
Subject 22, or just a random
Right?
thing,
Was
I
Subject
guess.
22 in Fury's or is in...
Fury's.
Yes.
Yeah, in Fury's origin, there's a line about the blood samples were healthy and matched that of Subject 22, which had our largest success.
Largest success.
But
So it
not
doesn't
total
matter.
success. Yeah.
Unless, or we could say that maybe Subject 22
Was
Wolverine,
Wolverine.
and then they were like, we got all we could out of him, now the Canadians can have him back.
Oh, yeah.
That works.
And it allows for the super soldier serum to continue, like, Wolverine had all this shit in his system. And the Canadians are like, let's use it, I guess. Like, oh,
Like, he had the largest success because he had a healing factor. Everyone else exploded.
No, he didn't have a healing factor because he wasn't made into a mutant yet.
Right.
His healing factor
right.
was the result of him becoming a mutant,
Yeah,
which
that
they
was his
made in
mutant
Weapon
power.
X. So Wolverine had to have been just like a cocktail of chemicals and super soldier serums that they used in Project Rebirth, maybe, if he's Subject 22,
Right.
which is, we don't know.
Which we don't know.
But it does explain things because,
It's a better continuity than what this book is trying to tell us.
yeah, that's a better retcon than anything that Bendis was doing. And it also makes it more connected, which of course Bendis wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
So, fine.
Bendis is sitting at home being like, you figured it out.
Figured out! No, I fixed your mistake!
No.
No.
This was the clue the
This
whole
was- I
time.
set it up.
Holy shit, you guys see that obelisk over there? It took about 20 years, but we did it!
So, I figured out what happened
Okay.
with the timeline.
Thank you.
There's
Please.
a time skip that they don't
Actually
address right here between these two pages.
So, Captain America is, the years are correct.
the years are correct.
Steve Rogers is enlisted.
Yeah.
He's
In
part of the
42.
program.
And
Yes,
it's
in
like
42.
a lengthy process.
I
That's the
see.
thing. It goes from so he's what happens when they like do it right and they find a volunteer.
I see.
And then
And then when they lose Captain America,
so they lose
Wait,
Nick
I'm sorry.
Fury, who's Subject 41.
so wait. So in 42,
they're
they get
recruiting,
Steve.
yeah.
And they're still working.
Yeah.
When they get Fury.
And the idea is probably that like, well, we're not going to test it on this guy, this white guy. We're going to test it on a prisoner,
Yes.
a black prisoner,
Uh-huh.
before we apply it to the guy who's the one we really want, who has all the characteristics that
okay.
we want, because
Steve is Subject 22.
So no, Steve is Subject 55. So
Oh,
he's
Jesus.
way later.
Okay,
so
so we
Subject
can- so
22
Wolverine still
could
could
be
be-
Wolverine.
okay, all right.
Yeah, very possibly.
All right.
Then Subject 41 or whatever is Nick Fury.
Okay.
And he's the one where they have like a breakthrough.
Yes.
And then they're like, okay, now we can use it on the
On-
white guy
oh my
who's the
God.
one we recruited
Okay.
and like specifically like planned
So-
to be the Captain
So
America.
Fury still is Captain America before Steve.
Yes. But arguably, they never really planned for him to be like the face of the program.
Absolutely not.
He was just a lab rat.
That's right. Yes.
From the perspective
Fury was
of the
always a
people who
lab
did-
rat. Yeah.
Which would make sense, right, with the time and how they
Yeah.
would
Well, considering
treating
he was
people.
imprisoned.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a good reason to have a chip on his shoulder.
Oh yeah.
About it and about references to him, being like Captain America. It's like I'm not.
Yeah.
They specifically
Don't want me.
didn't want me.
Yeah.
They just wanted to fuck with me.
Yes, they wanted my blood.
Yeah.
Okay. But how does that explain? Okay. So Erskine was part of Fury's program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Yep.
So we could still kill Erskine and it doesn't actually.
Correct.
not
We just
lie.
have to know that
Infer-
between here and here,
Years-
and there was like a montage
a year
here.
goes by.
This is a year of time,
Okay.
or at least many months, because I think
Yes.
Fury was,
August
August
of
1940
42.
He's arrested in August of 43.
43. Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
even if that was like September 43, then let's say this was the end of 42.
Right. Because it's December. It's like New Year's. So.
Yes. Yeah. So it might be less than a year. It might be like 9 months.
All right. All right. Let's make it 9 months because that's also the gestation period of a human being. So it's like.
Oh, there you go.
Project Rebirth.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. All right. All right.
We could have used though, because there's no indication
Bendis
that
also
that much
very
time
heavy-handed
passes.
with text and with like dates.
Yep.
Like we also get a lot of today and now and
Yeah.
years ago and 15, 16,
Yeah,
22 years ago.
2 years later.
Maybe
Of when?
9 months later. But again, we've discussed it before with his like time jumps and his selective choice to determine when it was because I don't think he knows. I think he's like,
Yeah. Well, he probably
it'll
doesn't-
fit
He
at
doesn't
some
want to
point.
specify if he doesn't have to.
You know what sounds
Yeah.
good? Saying that at that time.
yeah, years
Yeah.
ago.
Also, artistically speaking, what happens here is the time jump occurs on this page.
Yes.
At the end of this page, we get this last image, which is the image here. So if you put the time here, it would be weird because I just showed the time passing here. The time passed
They could have said time passes, but you know what? Maybe Bendis is relying on Geist to kind of sell that.
Yeah,
and
he
does.
Like,
I mean, the image,
see,
the
look at
montage
all
is great.
this. Look at all this.
Look at
This would take a while.
What are you talking about?
All this stuff, like this could happen in a day.
If you were doing a cholesterol test, that's one day. that's like 2 hours.
Yes.
We had lots of experiments to run.
Look,
I don't want its cholesterol on day 1. I want it on day 7. I want it on day 14.
How about
I've got to
month
keep
12?
going.
Okay.
All they had to do was date this.
Yes.
Put a little date in here to indicate it was like
March,
August 1943 or something.
And I'm willing to bet they did. And I guarantee
just
you,
didn't make it.
Freaking Gweezy just covered it up with his doctor.
They just put a person over it.
Yeah.
No, but he would have been responsible for. It should have been written in the script that the thing says
He drew that.
the date.
Yeah. The letterer really should have put the date on there.
Yeah, but again, he would have had to have been told to put the date in.
Yeah, but they put the date in the top left, and then then there's that doctor.
Yeah, the lettering goes in last though, so
Yeah.
the letterer could have just put it on the other side.
Right. Yeah, but there's it doesn't go on the top right of a letter. That's terrible.
What are you talking about? I put the date there.
He wouldn't have put the
you're a monster.
doctor in that corner if he wanted the date to be visible.
Right. But to what end? To my bafflement?
So how was I supposed to find out?
I'm going to screw up that episode of Back Issues.
To our own bewilderment? To just further complicate things? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't skip months of time without giving us a second date.
If you're going to tell
in any
me,
book ever, it's too hard because you could easily say this is the same day.
Yeah.
And it's actually 9 months in between.
Yeah.
That's important to convey.
especially if you're going to show us at one point that something was a year ago and then a year later.
Right.
And you're going to tell me when that was.
Yeah.
Or 6 months ago, for that matter, which is how the book literally opens.